Maya is 44 and originally from Mali. She has 3 young adult children, and her elderly mother also lives at home with the family. Her husband died a year ago, and since then, Maya has become very depressed, spending most of her time in bed. Prior to her admission, she tried to strangle herself on the banisters of her stairs at a time she would be unlikely to be found. Fortunately, her daughter returned unexpectedly from work and found her. She has now been on the ward for 2 weeks, detained under Section 2 of the Mental Health Act, which is for assessment in hospital for a period of up to 28 days, during which time treatment can also be given. She doesn't speak to staff or patients and spends most of the day crying loudly. Other patients shout at her, telling her to stop, and staff don't know what to do with her. One of her children visits every day, and she is noticeably settled by their presence. They are keen to help and support her and attend ward rounds every week.
Maya's very difficult to assess, and we discussed this today with Nina, one of her children. Nina said the family thought their mother was more distressed by the hospital environment than she was at home, and suggested they would be happy to have her home again. But Nina also acknowledged that Maya had made a serious attempt on her own life, and that she needs to be in hospital whilst we try and help her get better.
I understand that Mum is ill and needs to be here, but we all feel that she'd be better at home. If she can just have the familiar surroundings of home around her, I think it would help. We're certain. I asked at the ward round to see if they would allow her to come back home, but they were really reluctant to say yes.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
Do you want to come home? Well, what if she just comes for like 1 or 2 days?
Excuse me, there's a new admission that needs your attention as soon as possible.
Of course, I'll be there in a second. Would you excuse me a moment? I'm terribly sorry. Can you two carry on the ward round without me, and I'll be back as soon as I can? Is that okay? Is that okay with you?
Yes, of course.
Sorry about that delay. It couldn't be helped. I do apologise. I'm sure it'll be fine if you go home for a few days.
Wow, really?
Yeah, you obviously care about her an awful lot, and you'll look after her, and perhaps she'll be better off when she's in a place that she knows and feels comfortable. I wonder if we can make the arrangements for that. Can you sort the medication out? I'll sign the Section 17 leave forms. How long do you think? What's today? Today is Thursday. If you could come back on Sunday evening, how does that sound?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I hope it works out very well for you. How do you? Is that okay? Do you think that's going to be better?
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. We can have some time together. Okay.
Everyone was very surprised about the doctor's decision to let Maya go home with her family, especially given the circumstances of her admission and her recent attempt on her own life. We found out afterwards that a new patient had arrived and there weren't any beds available, so he decided to let Maya go to release a bed.
What is wrong with this approach?
Hello?
Hi, it's Nina, Maya's daughter.
Hi Nina, how's Maya doing?
Yes, absolutely great. Thank you.
That's really good. So are you bringing Maya back to the ward today?
Well, that's just the thing. She's doing really well with us, and I was wondering if she could stay with us for a few more days.
Yeah, I think that's fine. The doctor was going to discharge her anyway, so we'll just extend her leave.
Thank you. Thank you very much. She'll be pleased. Thanks.
Maya was due back today, and the general feeling on the ward amongst the staff was one of apprehension, as her previous time in the ward was difficult for staff and patients, as she just wailed all day and got on everyone's nerves.
Is this a reasonable approach? It is possible for leave to be extended while the patient is actually out on leave, but it would require a proper risk assessment and much greater scrutiny than is portrayed here. It is envisaged that some community support, such as that offered by a home treatment service, would be available during this type of home leave.
Hello? Hi, it's Nina again.
Hello Nina, what can I do for you?
Mum's suddenly taken a turn for the worse. She's crying, she won't get out of bed, she's not talking to anyone, she won't eat. Well, I was wondering if we could bring her back to the hospital.
I'm really sorry, Nina, but we don't have any beds left on the ward, so she's going to have to stay at home with you for now.
It doesn't make sense. Mum was only meant to be out on leave to see how she got on. And before they agreed to it, they're really reluctant to let her out at all. But now she's getting worse, and we're really worried about her. And they say that she can't go back into the hospital. We just don't know what to do.
What should happen in this situation? Maya is currently detained under Section 2 of the Mental Health Act for an assessment, or assessment followed by treatment. It is highly unusual that this type of leave would be granted for a patient like Maya. Leave should always form part of a care plan, only be permitted after a risk assessment, and it should never be used to free up a bed. When patients like Maya are sent on leave, she and her family should be able to call on the hospital for support at any time. Maya is still the responsibility of the hospital while on leave, as she continues to be detained under the Mental Health Act, and therefore she is in the custody of the state. Maya's case is based on a real case. Sadly, the patient strangled herself while on leave that should never have been authorised. There was an over-reliance on the family to care for her, but they could never provide the 24-hour care that she could have received in an inpatient unit.